And I think that's the shift that we're seeing in America, where Americans are now saying either you are going to be a true progressive and make the investments in the middle class that we saw taking place underneath FDR, or you're no longer going to be able to call yourself a true progressive. I hit my volume down kind of low on that part. But that's where we are in America. And so I think that's where we see a dynamic shift, because everyone knows intuitively, they know it at a very internal level, that something is not right when you can have a master's degree, work 40 hours a week, and work a second job and still be struggling to survive. That's because our interests have not been in the middle class. It has been in whatever it takes to get that profit, that bottom line. And that always necessitates increasing prices as much as we can and decreasing the cost of labor. That is your supply and demand. That is economics 101. That is the core of capitalism. The core of capitalism will always seek the highest rent possible and always seek the lowest labor possible. And that is why we see the outsourcing of jobs, so that they can get slave labor in countries where they don't have labor laws. And so there is a natural competition. There is natural enmity between capital and labor. There are diatribes. There are books, libraries of books about the competition between capital and labor. And it is a competition because capital always wants the cheapest amount of labor to increase profits. So there is a vested interest in every organization to pay you the lowest amount possible. That does not make them evil. That actually just makes them good business people. That's the only difference between me and a lot of other progressives. I don't see capitalists as evil. I see them as doing their jobs. And I see the government as standing idly by while they do what's in the best interest for their company, but it's not in the best interest for the Americans, for the American population. And so I don't look at capitalists and think and business owners and Michael Dell and Bill Gates and people who have started billion dollar industries. I don't look at them as evil. I look at them as doing whatever the government is going to allow them to do, which is going to be in the best interest of their shareholders, but not necessarily in the best interest of the average American. And if we continue to allow all of these moves to be made, which are in the benefit of a small group to the detriment of the average American, then we are going to be left without a middle class, because that is the natural state of capitalism. Now, I'm going to bring the scholarly article. I've been talking about bringing it. I'm going to bring the scholarly article. This is not something from Forbes, right? I'll bring the article tomorrow, and I will be live on the air. I'm going to do 5 days a week this week and see how it feels again. But I will bring the article that shows you two things. One, that capital begets capital. Capital will always go to the people who already have capital. And it's in the very rare instances that someone who was born without access to any capital can gain capital, which is investments, right? And the ability to invest, the funds to invest, the equipment that's necessary to invest. All those are different forms of capital. It's very rare that someone who was born without it can gain access to it to create new wealth. And if that's not possible in America, then what the hell is America for? If you have to be born rich already to get access to money to sustain your wealth, then what is it for? Especially because every single industry benefits off of the middle class. Everyone. And the poor. Everyone. Walmart would not be the billion-dollar industry almost by itself without the middle class and the poor. Apple would not be the company that it is without the middle class and even some poor people who have iPhones, which, I wouldn't have one if I wasn't making the middle class income, right? Not talking about the decisions, but still, that's besides the point. But there's not an industry. And then let's go one step further. We're not even just talking about, ladies and gentlemen, we're not just talking about the free market industries, right? We're talking about organizations that take money directly from the government. Government contractors who used to get no bid contracts, who have an abundance of waste. When they say they quote a project at 50 million, and then it comes in actually at 75 million. You know, I know governmental contractors who talk about the exorbitant waste that they see in these contracts. And this is money that's being taken directly from the American. This is not money, that wealth that they created. See, that's misconception number one. This is not just money that was created. This is money that was taken from us and redistributed to defense contractors and other types of contractors who then waste those funds. And the government is not doing its job of oversight, of overseeing it, as well as making sure that the investments that we make benefit the average American. That is what Bernie Sanders is saying. That's essentially what Cornel West was saying, but he wasn't saying it in plain language. And I think you just need somebody to say it in plain language. If tax dollars come out of our check, then those tax dollars need to directly benefit us, period. I should not be paying the government tax dollars every single month and still have to pay a mortgage in childcare, when in every other major developed country in the world, childcare is a part of their society. Things like that. Those are the things that make all the difference. And caller, I'm sorry I missed your call. You can call back 857-600-05. Hey, thanks for watching this video, everyone. If you liked it, be sure to click the like button, subscribe, and make sure you share it with all of your friends. If you like what we're doing at the Benjamin Dixon Show and think more people should hear it, consider becoming a Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/the BPD Show, and we'll see you next time.